So good morning to everyone. So in yesterday's class, we had the discussion of measurement of capacitance. So measurement of capacitance can be done with three types of bridges. One is de-Shortis bridge, and second one is modified de-Shortis bridge, and third one is shearing bridge. So in the previous class, we already discussed about the concept of de-Shortis bridge. Okay. So the main objective of de-Shortis bridge is to find out unknown capacitance with the help of comparing the unknown capacitance with an standard known capacitance. Okay, so here this is the concept, this is the exact construction of D-Shortis bridge which we discussed. It contains four arms. Two are pure resistance arms and two are capacitance arms. Pure resistance arm is nothing but AB and AN. Capacitance arm is nothing but V2M and M2N. Okay, and we have seen the derivation study. We have seen the derivation study. So how we derived the mathematical expression means, here we did it simple. Okay, so we observe the potential drop or voltage drop across individual branches. That means voltage drop across A to B, voltage drop across B to M, voltage drop across A to N, and voltage drop across M to N. So we equalize the expressions. Voltage drop across A to B is nothing but I1 into R1. Voltage drop across A to N is nothing but I2 into R2. Okay, voltage drop across B to M is nothing but I1 into 1 by j omega C1, and voltage drop across M2N is nothing but I2 into 1 by j omega C2. So we calculated one by one potential drops into two expressions. One is potential drop across A to B and A to N at this particular side of the branch, and potential drop across this particular side of the branch, and we noted them in two expressions. And we denoted them in two expressions. And next, what we did means, after denoting them into two expressions, so we divided 1 by 2. So the first expression is divided with second expression, and what we calculated means here, so this is the expression we got, R1 C1 that is equal to R2 C2, that is R1 by R2 is equal to C2 by C1. So this is what we discussed in previous class, and we are at the discussion of phasor diagram. So phasor diagram, what is a phasor diagram represents in general notation? Phasor diagram is nothing but a pictorial or graphical representation of behavior with respect to voltage and current. That's what the uh, phasor diagram represents. So here, how we can draw the phasor? So before we are going to draw the phasor diagram, we need a clear-cut explanation with respect to the behavior of voltages and currents in this particular bridge. So if we see here in this particular bridge, what actually happening means the current. So E is nothing but EMF provided or voltage provided to the bridge, and capital I is nothing but current provided. Capital I is nothing but current provided. What will happen means, current after entering into the bridge, it is divided into two parts. One is I1 and another one is I2. I1 is the current flowing to the first resistance arm, and I2 is the current flowing through the second resistance arm, or the second path. That means here both currents are in phase. I1 is in phase with respect to I2, even though there is a splitting. Initial current I is split into two components, I1 and I2. Both are in phase condition. That's why we represented that in a common phasor. I1 is equal to I2. Okay. So voltage drop, what is the voltage drop across A to B? Voltage drop from A to B is nothing but I1 into R1, that is represented on this particular line, and voltage drop from A to N is represented with respect to I2 into R2. Okay. So next, what happened actually, the thing, next we have seen the behavior of voltage drop or potential drop across the capacitor arms. Okay, actually the capacitance is nothing but it is having a property of lagging with respect to the current. So that's why the capacitor current flowing with respect to these two particular capacitor arms lags at a particular dimension of 90 degrees. And this is nothing but a current flowing through the capacitor arms, I1 and I2. Okay, so what is the voltage drop? Voltage drop from B to M is nothing but I1 into j omega C1. Okay, then the potential drop across second resistance arm, that is equal to I2 divided by j omega C2. So this is what actually happened with respect to the voltage drops. With respect to the voltage drop. So from this particular point of view, what we are going to state means the exact representation of phasor with respect to the voltage drop across the resistances, with respect to the voltage drop across the capacitances, we have shown here. We have shown here, and also the behavior of currents also. So how can we so up to now we represented the behavior of currents in this particular phasor. How to represent the behavior of voltage means always the voltage is a resultant with respect to the currents flowing. Voltage across the capacitor C1 and C2 and voltage across the currents I1 and I2 are in phase with respect to the quadrature here. That means here the sum of potential drop, that is I1 into R1 or I2 into R2, I2 into R2, I1 into R1 or I2 into R2 is in summation with respect to the, that means this voltage drop is in summation with respect to this voltage drop. That means voltage drop across the resistance arms plus voltage drop across capacitance arms will provide total supply voltage. That's what we represented here. Okay, so this is about the phasor diagram analysis. Next we will discuss about shearing bridge, measurement of capacitance with the element shearing bridge. So what is the main objective of shearing bridge? What is the main objective of de-Shortis bridge? Main purpose of de-Shortis bridge or main objective of de-Shortis bridge is to find out, main purpose of de-Shortis bridge or main objective of de-Shortis bridge is to find out capacitance while comparing with the known, while comparing with the known capacitor. Here also our objective is to find out unknown capacitance, and also we can find out dielectric loss. Okay, and additionally we can also determine the power factor of the bridge. This is the first time we are doing this. సో ఇంతకుముందు మనం డిస్కస్ చేసిన మ్యాక్స్వెల్స్ బ్రిడ్జెస్లో కానీ హేస్ బ్రిడ్జ్ కానీ ఆండర్సన్ బ్రిడ్జ్ కానీ డీసార్టిస్ బ్రిడ్జ్లో అడిషనల్ టు ద అన్నోన్ ఎలిమెంట్స్, అన్నోన్ ఇండక్టెన్స్ కానీ అన్నోన్ కెపాసిటెన్స్ కానీ మనం సాల్వ్ చేసాం కానీ అడిషనల్ పారామీటర్స్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయలేదండి. బట్ ఇన్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ షీరింగ్ బ్రిడ్జ్, మెయిన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ షీరింగ్ బ్రిడ్జ్ ఇస్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ అన్నోన్ కెపాసిటెన్స్. Okay, it is one of the important bridge to measure the capacitance. It will also measure dielectric loss and it will also measure power factor. This is one of the important bit we will come across in many competitive exams. Okay, the main objective of the shearing bridge is to find out unknown capacitance with respect to dielectric loss and power factor. Okay, so if we see the construction of the, sorry, if we see the construction, if we see the construction of this particular bridge, one second. So the first term, so entire bridge is connected with an EMF source, AC voltage source, and current flowing, that is I. Initial current flowing is I, and the current will split here and here. This is I1, and here this is I2. Here this is I2. Okay, so and the first path, see the first path A to B. So what are the elements present in first path A to B? R1 is the resistance with respect to a parallel capacitor. See, this is the standard capacitor. Standard capacitance in the sense variable capacitor. Okay, so here we have a variable capacitance. A variable capacitance is connected in series with respect to the resistance R1. Okay, and here we have a variable resistance in the second branch B to C. Current flowing through the first branch is represented with respect to I1, and current flowing through the second branch is represented with respect to I2. So here also same amount of current flown, that is I1. I1 is the current flowing here, and same amount of current here also flown, that is I2. I2 is the current, I2 will be current flowing here. So a B2C is nothing but a resistance arm. So this is the resistance arm, and I2 is the current, I2 is the current flowing with respect to the resistance R2, and here from A to D it is a capacitance arm. So here in the, here we will connect a high capacitance, high quality mica capacitor. Here we will connect a high quality mica capacitor, we connect here. Okay, so and the current flowing is I1. Main purpose is to measure the main object is to measure dielectric loss that is achievable with the connecting of an high quality mica capacitor. Okay, and the fourth bridge, that is D to C, this is nothing but our unknown elements, where we have to find, we need to find out capacitance C suffix x and also the resistance present in the capacitance, that is R suffix x. Okay, so this is about the bridge construction. So simple and shearing bridge construction ఏం లేదండి. ఫస్ట్ పాత్లో ఏముంటుందండి, రెసిస్టెన్స్ R1 is connected in parallel to వేరియబుల్ కెపాసిటర్ అండి. కరెంట్ ఫ్లోయింగ్ వచ్చి I1 అండి. ఇనిషియల్ కరెంట్ వచ్చి క్యాపిటల్ ఐ అండి. ఇక్కడ బి పాయింట్ దగ్గర మీట్ అయిన తర్వాత కరెంట్స్ ఏమవుతాయండి, స్ప్లిట్ అవుతాయండి. స్ప్లిట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఏమవుతుందండి, I1 ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ ఫ్లోయింగ్ త్రూ ద ఫస్ట్ పాత్ అండి, I2 ఇస్ ద కరెంట్ ఫ్లోయింగ్ త్రూ ద సెకండ్ పాత్. సెకండ్ పాత్ వచ్చేసి ప్యూర్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ పాత్ అండి. సో అక్కడ మనం ఏం చేసామంటే ఓన్లీ ప్యూర్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ పాత్ ఇక్కడ మనం రిప్రజెంట్ చేసామనుకోండి, ప్యూర్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ పాత్, ప్యూర్ కెపాసిటెన్స్ పాత్ అని. ఓకే, అక్కడ ఆ ఎలిమెంట్స్ మాత్రం కనెక్ట్ చేయాలండి. ఓకే, సో B2C is nothing but pure resistance path అండి, with that where we connected variable resistance, and A2D is nothing but capacitance path, where we connected high quality mica capacitor of value C3. I1 is the current flowing here, and fourth path is nothing but unknown elements, where we connect resistance, and here we can connect a resistance and a capacitance, which is an unknown elements. Okay, so in some of the textbooks what we do means B2C is nothing but a pure resistance path and A2D is capacitance path. ఈ రెండు ఇలా ఉంచేసి అన్నోన్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ని తీసుకెళ్ళి ఫస్ట్ పాత్లో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాడండి. ఈ ప్యారలల్ ఆర్సీ కెపాసిటర్ని తీసుకొచ్చి ఫోర్త్ పాత్లో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాడు. అలా అయినా కనెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చండి, కానీ సెకండ్ పాత్లో కానీ సెకండ్ పాత్ని థర్డ్ పాత్ని డిస్టర్బ్ చేయకూడదండి. ఎందుకంటే సెకండ్ పాత్ వచ్చేసి ప్యూర్ రెసిస్టెన్స్ పాత్ అండి, ఓన్లీ రెసిస్టెన్స్ ఎలిమెంట్ మాత్రమే కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి అక్కడ. థర్డ్ పాత్ వచ్చేసి కెపాసిటెన్స్ పాత్, హై క్వాలిటీ మైకా కెపాసిటర్ మనం ఇక్కడ కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో దిస్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద కన్స్ట్రక్షన్. If we observe the numerical analysis, so from the generalized bridge expression, what is the generalized bridge expression? From the generalized bridge expression, Z1 Z4 is equal to Z2 Z3. So this is the path, this is the bridge equation we got. So what is the value of Z4? We know the value, we don't know the value of Z4. That's why we represented the element, that is Zx. That is we represented Zx here. So next we rewrite the generalized expression Z1 Zx is equal to Z2 Z3 in the form of expression here, that is Z suffix x is equal to Z2 Z3 divided by Z1. That means Z suffix x is equal to Z2 Z3 divided by Z1. Okay, so here again Z suffix x is equal to Z2 Z3. So what is the value of 1 by Z1? 1 by Z1 is nothing but admittance, that is Y1. So this is the finalized expression, Z suffix x is equal to Z2 Z3 Y1. Okay, so if we generalize the expressions further, what is the value of Z suffix x? We don't know the value of Z suffix x, that is Rx minus J by omega Cx. Rx minus J by omega Cx, and R2 is equal to what is the value of Z2? Z2 is nothing but admittance of second branch. That's why here we have R2. And Z3, what is the value of Z3? Z3 is nothing but elements present in the third branch, that is minus J by omega C3. Okay, Y1, that is equal to admittance, that is 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. 1 by R1 plus J omega C1. That's what we represented here in 1 by 1 elements. Okay, so if we substitute the values, in this expression, so many people will have doubt అండి, ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ యాక్చువల్లీ the Z1 value is equal to R by J omega C1. Z1 is equal to R by omega C1. So ఇక్కడ ఏం చేసామని but what actually happened, Z1 is represented 1 by Z1 in the form of 1 by Z1 is nothing but Y1. That's why 1 by 1 by r by omega c1 will be represented as j omega c1 divided by r1. That's what we represented here. That's what we represented here. So these are the expressions we got. We know the value of zx, we know the value of z2, we know the value of z3, we know the value of y1. We know the value of y1. So if we substitute the values one by one, we substitute all these parameters in this particular equation 1. What is the value of zx? Rx minus j by omega cx. That is equal to, what is the value of z2? Z2 is nothing but R2 into Z, R2. What is the value of Z2? Z2 in the sense Z2 value is nothing but R2. What is the value of Z3? The Z3 value is nothing but minus j by omega C3. What is the value of Y1? Y1 is nothing but 1 by R1 plus j omega C1. So this is the value of, this is the values, we substituted the values one by one in this expression. So if we again substitute the LHS side, what will be the expression? Rx minus j by omega cx, that is equal to Rx into minus j divided by R1 into omega C3 plus R2 C1 divided by C3. Okay, so we substituted this expression in the form of this expression. So if we rewrite the form into real and imaginary terms, okay, so if we equate the real terms with respect to the imaginary terms, so what are the real terms here? Real terms in the sense, real terms, what are the real terms? One second. Real terms in the sense, Rx is a real term and R2 C1 divided by C3. This is a real term. This is a real term. So what are the imaginary terms? Imaginary terms in the sense, j minus j divided by omega cx, that is equal to Rx into minus j divided by R1 into omega C3. If we equate real terms with respect to imaginary terms, we know the value of Rx. We know the value of Rx, that is Rx is equal to R2 C1 divided by R3. So we equated here LHS side and RHS side, we just equated the real terms with respect to imaginary terms. Okay, these are the real terms. The red portion which I underlined is the real term and which we got here. If we see the imaginary terms, if we equate the imaginary terms, what will happen? This j will get cancelled. This omega will get cancelled. Okay, what will be the value of Rx? Sorry, what is the value of unknown capacitance C suffix x? C suffix x is equal to R1 C3 divided by R2. R1 C3 divided by R2. That means here we can find out the real terms and imaginary terms, and we equated the expression. So this is a simple term we got. Okay. So inkosa explain chestan chudandi. So from the generalized expression, AC bridge generalized expression ఏంటండి Z1 Z4 is equal to Z2 Z3. We don't know value of Z4. That's why Z4 వాల్యూలో Z4 ఎలిమెంట్స్ మనం ఫైండ్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి దాన్ని ఏం చేసామండి, మనం ZX తో రీప్లేస్ చేసామండి. సో ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ని రీరైట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ZX is equal to Z2 Z3 divided by Z1, that is equal to Z2 Z3. 1 by Z1 ఏమవుతుందండి, Y1 అవుతుంది. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తానండి, ఒక్కొక్క ఈక్వేషన్ ని రిప్రజెంట్ చేసుకున్నాను. Zx is equal to Rx minus j by omega Cx. Z2 is equal to R2. Okay, and Z3 is equal to minus j by omega C3. And Y1 is equal to 1 by R1 j omega C1. ఈ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్స్ నుంచి రీరైట్ చేసుకున్నాను ఇవన్నీ నేను. ఓకేనా, ఈ బ్రిడ్జ్ నుంచి రీరైట్ చేసుకున్నాను. ఎలా అండి, Zx ఏంటండి, Zx అంటే Rx మైనస్ j omega Cx. సింపుల్. Z2 అంటే ఏంటండి, సెకండ్ బ్రాంచ్ ఇంపిడెన్స్ ఎంత అండి, R2. Z3 ఏంటండి, సో థర్డ్ బ్రాంచ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్, దట్ ఈస్ మైనస్ j by omega C3. Z1 ఏంటండి, Z1 is nothing but R1 divided by j omega C1. దాన్ని Z1 ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం, 1 by Z1 కాబట్టి Y1 దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు 1 by R1 ప్లస్ j omega C1. సో ఈ వాల్యూస్ నేను ఏం చేశానంటే ఈ ZX ని Z2 Z3 Y1 వాల్యూస్ ఇక్కడ నేను సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేశాను ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్లో. సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసిన తర్వాత దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ఐ గాట్. ఐ సింప్లిఫైడ్ ఫర్దర్. దాంట్లో నుంచి రియల్ టర్మ్స్, ఇమాజినరీ టర్మ్స్. రియల్ టర్మ్స్ అంటే ఏ ప్లస్ ఐబి ఉందనుకోండి. ఈ టర్మ్లో రియల్ టర్మ్స్ ఏంటండి ఏ, ఇమాజినరీ టర్మ్స్ ఏంటండి బి. ఓకేనా? సో రియల్ టర్మ్స్ అన్ని ఒక పక్కకు తీసుకొచ్చేసానండి ఎల్హెచ్ఎస్ సైడ్. దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఆర్ఎక్స్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు R2C1 డివైడెడ్ బై R3. ఇమాజినరీ టర్మ్స్ ఏంటండి మైనస్ జే బై ఒమేగా సిఎక్స్ దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఆర్ఎక్స్ డివైడెడ్ బై R1 R3. ఓకే, సో ఏం చేస్తామండి, మైనస్ జే ఈ జే మైనస్ జే క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతుందండి, ఒమేగా ఒమేగా క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతుందండి. ఓకేనా? వాట్ ఈస్ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ఎక్స్ అండి? అగైన్ వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ఎక్స్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ R2C1 డివైడెడ్ బై R3. ఈ ఆర్ఎక్స్ ప్లస్లో ఈ ఆర్ఎక్స్ని సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసుకుంటాం. సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందండి, అగైన్ మళ్ళీ టర్మ్స్ క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతాయి. క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోయి రిమైనింగ్ టర్మ్స్ ఏంటండి R1C3 డివైడెడ్ బై R2. సో దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ వీ క్యాలిక్యులేటెడ్ అన్నోన్ capacitance and unknown resistance of these shearing bridge. So other than finding unknown capacitance, what we can do, we can calculate dielectric loss and also we can calculate power factor. That is the main objective of shearing bridge. So how can we calculate power factor? How can we measure dielectric loss? Means power factor. Here what is meant by power factor? Power factor is nothing but cosine of angle between voltage and current. So here the unknown power factor is represented with respect to Rx divided by Zx. Okay, it is a resistance and capacitance combination. That's why I represented the power factor in the term of Rx and Zx. Okay, so what is the value of Rx? Rx is the unknown resistance. Okay, and the Zx is represented with respect to x suffix x. What is the value of x suffix x? 1 by omega cx. So if we rewrite this expression, what will be the power factor? Power factor ఏమవుతుందండి, the power factor will be omega cx into rx. Simple అండి. Power factor is nothing but cosine of angle between voltage and current. It's a phase angle in the circuit. ఆ phase angle నేను ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేశానండి, rx divided by zx రిప్రజెంట్ చేసాం. So we are all know that in a capacitor circuit, the phase angle is very close to 90 degrees. That means the reactance is almost equal to impedance. So దాన్ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తామండి, in the value of zx, because reactance is almost equal to impedance, what we can do, that is rx divided by x తో మనం రిప్రజెంట్ చేసాం. What is the value of x suffix x? That is 1 by omega cx. Okay, 1 by omega cx. దాన్ని అగైన్ రీరైట్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందండి, ఈ డినామినేటర్ న్యూమరేటర్ దగ్గర తీసుకెళ్ళామనుకోండి ఏమవుతుందండి, మల్టిప్లై చేస్తుంది. దట్ ఈస్ rx ఇంటూ ఒమేగా సిఎక్స్. దాన్ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాను, ఒమేగా ఆర్ఎక్స్ సిఎక్స్తో మనం రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం. సో దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ వీ క్యాలిక్యులేటెడ్ ద కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఇన్ an RC circuit. So next, if we see the dissipation factor, the main object of calculating the dissipation factor is to find out dielectric loss in order to find out quality of the capacitor. So what is the quality of always, if you keep in mind, most of you got this point in electromagnetic field theory, always the dielectric loss will define the quality of the capacitor. Okay, so how can the dielectric loss can be defined, or how can the quality of a capacitor can be defined? Means with the help of dissipation factor. The main objective of dissipation factor is to find out the quality factor and is to find out the dielectric loss. Okay, so in this particular type of RC circuit, why I am keep on focusing the term RC circuit means, see here, so this is the unknown element, bridge's fourth path is nothing but an RC circuit, unknown capacitance with respect to unknown resistance. That's why I am focusing on that. So if we study about the concept of a dissipation factor in a particular RC circuit, it will discuss about the quality factor of the capacitor and it will discuss about the dielectric loss of the capacitor. So the dissipation factor of an RC circuit, how can we define the dissipation factor? Means it is a cotangent of phase angle. That is dissipation factor D is equal to Rx divided by Xx, that is equal to omega Cx into Rx. This is what we defined from the phase angle. This is where we defined from the power factor previously. So how can we define the quality factor here, or dissipation factor quality factor? Means Q is equal to XL divided by RL. Okay, So from this dissipation factor D is equal to, from this dissipation factor D is equal to 1 by Q, 1 by Q. If we substitute the values 1 by 1, the dissipation factor tells the quality of the capacitor and how close the capacitor is towards the pure capacitor. Okay, for an ideal value. That means the after calculating the dissipation factor, we can compare this capacitor with a pure capacitor or with respect to an ideal capacitor, and we can see what are the similarities. So what will be the dissipation factor? Capital D is equal to, if we substitute the value of the calculated C suffix x and R suffix x here in the terms. So we calculated the unknown resistance and capacitance in our shearing bridge. If we substitute the elements, what is the value of C suffix x? That is R1 C3 divided by R2. What is the value of R suffix x? R2 C1 divided by C3. Okay, if we substitute them and if we rewrite the expression, what will happen? This C3 will get cancelled. This R2 will get cancelled. What is the final expression? Omega R1 C1. So this is the dissipation factor. Omega R1 C1 is the dissipation factor of a shearing bridge, okay, with a standard capacitor, where we can directly measure the dissipation factor. Okay, just 1 minute. So this is how we calculated the dissipation factor with the unknown resistance calculation and unknown capacitance calculation. So next, if we solve some problems, let us solve some problems, it will be clear. Sorry. Make yourself available with scientific calculator, or otherwise use a scientific calculator application which I posted in our WhatsApp group. Okay, so let us see the given data. So the shearing bridge is the following data constants from A to B. A to B is having a capacitance 0.4 microfarad in parallel to 1.5 kilo ohm resistance. Okay, and B to C is nothing but a variable resistance of 3 kilo ohm. C to D is nothing but an unknown capacitor with respect to an unknown resistor. Unknown capacitor is represented with respect to C suffix x, and unknown resistance is represented with respect to R suffix x. And D to A is nothing but capacitance of 0.4 microfarad. Okay, and the total operated frequency here it is 1 kilohertz. So we need to find out R suffix x and C suffix x of fourth part, and we also need to find out the dissipation factor, that is capital D is equal to omega R1 C1. See, let us see. So this is the given data: R1 1.5 kilo ohm, C1 0.4 microfarad, R2 3 kilo ohm, C3 0.4 microfarad. So we need to find out Rx and Cx. What is the formula for R suffix x? R2 C1 divided by C3. Okay, solve along with me. Solve along with me. What will be the thing here? What is the value? R suffix x, that is equal to, if we substitute the values, that is 3 kilo ohm into 0.4 microfarad divided by 0.4 microfarad. What will be the answer? This 0.4 and this 0.4 will get cancelled. What will be the answer? The answer will be 3 kilo ohm. Okay, and next, what will be the value of capacitance, unknown capacitance, C suffix x? C suffix x formula, that is R1 C3 divided by R2. Students, solve along with me parallelly in your running notes. It will be clear. Otherwise, there will be too much complexities. What is the value of R1? R1 is nothing but 1.5 kilo ohm. C3 is nothing but 0.4 microfarad. What is the value of R2? 3 kilo ohm. If we substitute the values, 1.5 kilo ohm into 0.4 microfarad divided by 3 kilo ohm. Okay. So what is the answer of unknown capacitance? Just let me know in the chat box. Post your answer in the chat. What is the value of C suffix x? The 261 got 0.2. 0.2. Let me check. 0.2 microfarad, right? It's correct. And next what we need to calculate? We need to calculate the second bit, that is dissipation factor. What is the formula for dissipation factor? Dissipation factor, that is capital D, that is equal to omega into Cx into Rx. What is the value of omega? We don't know the value of omega, is not yet given here. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. That is 2 pi f into Cx into Rx. What is the value of frequency? Frequency is 1 kilohertz. C suffix x is 0.2 microfarad. R suffix x is 3 kilo ohm. Substitute the values. That is 2 pi. F is nothing but 1000. C suffix x is 0.2 microfarad. That is 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into R suffix x. That is 3 kilo ohm. That is 3 into 1000. Okay. So what will be the answer? Solve the thing, solve the problem, solve this problem of dissipation factor and post your answer in the chat box. Right, I got 3.7. I got dissipation factor of answer 3.7. Anybody? Anybody with answer? 3.768. 261 got 3.768. 252 got 3.76. Let me check. I got 3.74. The answer is 3.77. Dissipation factor is 3.77. I hope it's clear. If you have any queries with respect to the problem, let me know in the chat box. So this is the next problem we got. So a Bakelite sheet of 5 mm thickness is tested with at a frequency of 50 hertz between the electrodes of 12 centimeters diameter. The shearing bridge is used here. Okay, the capacitance C2 is nothing but 106 picofarad, and the non-resistance R4 is 1000 divided by pi ohms, is in parallel with respect to a variable C4 and a non-reactive variable R3. Balance is obtained when with C4 is equal to 0.5 microfarad and R3 is equal to 270 ohms. So determine capacitance and power factor. So this is a given data we got. So this is a given data we need. C2 is nothing but 106 picofarad. Picofarad is converted into farads. That is 106 into 10 to the power of minus 12. R4 is equal to 1000 divided by pi ohms, and C4 is equal to 0.55 picofarad, sorry, microfarad, that is 0.55 into 10 to the power of minus 6, and R3 is 270 ohms. If we substitute the value of first term, we substitute the value here to determine capacitance. So bridge is balanced. What is the capacitance expression? R1, what is the resistance expression? R1 is equal to R3 R4 divided by C2. If we substitute the values, what is the value of R3? 270 ohms. C4 0.55 into 10 to the power of minus 6, C2, 106 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Solve this thing, solve this expression, and what will be the answer? Let me check. ఆన్సర్ ఎంత వచ్చిందండి రెసిస్టెన్స్ R1 కి? 1.4 into 10 to the power of 6. 261 got 1.4 into 10 to the power of 6. Anyone? I got 1.32 into 10 to the power of 6. Let me check. The answer is 1.4 mega ohms. Let me next calculate the value of C4. What is the value of C4? That is R4 C2 divided by R3. The value of C1 is nothing but R4 C3 divided by, sorry, R4 C2 divided by R3. Right. Substitute the values. We know the value of R4 is nothing but 1000 divided by pi. Know the value of C2, that is 106 into 10 to the power of minus 12. R3 is nothing but 270. These are the values. Solve the expression and post your answer in the chat. Only 4 to 5 people are responding. Just make yourself interesting and comfortable. Okay, if you don't have scientific calculator, already I posted a link in the WhatsApp group with respect to Google Play Store scientific calculator application. Use that, it is quite reliable. You don't have any bugs. Right. (125 picofarad). 261 got 125 picofarad. Anyone? Cross verify the answer. Anyone got the same answer? Post your answer in the chat. Red. Most of the people got the same answer. The answer is 124.9 picofarad. Right. So next, that is about the first bit, calculation of capacitance. So if we see the second bit is related to the calculation of power factor. Calculation of power factor. If we see that, how can we calculate the power factor? Power factor can be calculated with respect to the expression power factor is equal to omega R1 C1. What is the value of R1? What is the value of R1? 1.4 megafarad. What is the value of C1? 124.9 picofarad. What is the value of omega? Omega is nothing but 2 pi f. F is nothing but 50 hertz. Already it's given in the problem. And I substituted the parameters here. 2 pi into 50 into 1.4 into 10 to the power of 6 into 124.9 into 10 to the power of minus 12. These are the expressions we got. And solve this thing and post your answer in the chat box. I got 0.05 is the power factor. 0.0549 is the power factor. Right. Into the next problem. A 4-arm AC bridge network. So if you see the bridge expression, So this is the circuit shearing bridge. This is the unknown resistance, sorry, unknown impedance arm, and R2 is having 1000 ohms, and C3 is having 0.01 microfarad, and R4 is having 100 ohms, and capacitance, parallel capacitance C1 is having 0.01 microfarad. Okay, 0.01 microfarad. Okay, so if what do we need to find out? We need to find out the value of Rx and Cx, unknown impedance values when the bridge is in balanced condition. So this is the given data we got. And what is the value? What is the expression? What is the expression? Rx, that is equal to R2 C4 divided by R3. Rx is equal to R2 C4 divided by R3. So substitute the values one by one. What is the value of R2? 1000 ohms. What is the value of C4? 0.01 microfarad. What is the value of C3? 1000 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Okay, and solve the expression of R suffix x. Solve this expression. Solve this expression and post your answer in the chat box. The 261 got 0.01 into 10 to the power of 6. Anyone? Anyone with same answer? So I myself got 0.01 into 10 to the power of 6. That is 0.01 mega ohms. Okay. So next calculate the value of C suffix x. C suffix x, that is equal to R4 C3 divided by R2. Okay. So what is the value of R4? 100 ohms. What is the value of C3? 1000 into the 10 to the power of minus 12. What is the value of R2? 1000 ohms. Okay. What is the value of capacitance we got? Simple. There is no calculation here. This 1000, this 1000 will get cancelled. Answer is 100 picofarad. Anyone? Wait, 100 picofarad. Most of the people got same answer, that is 100 picofarad. Solve the next problem. So the shearing bridge. So this is our shearing bridge, which is having the elements C1 R1 is nothing but unknown elements. Capacitance is nothing but C2 capacitance is 500 picofarad. R3 resistance is nothing but 300 ohms. R4 is having a value of 0.148 picofarad, and capacitance value is 0.148 microfarad, and resistance value is 72.6 ohms. Okay, so we need to find out the values of unknown capacitance, unknown resistance, and power factor here. Let us see. That is C1 is equal to R2 R4 divided by C3. We know the expression. And R1 is equal to R3 C4 divided by R2. So if we substitute the values, we get, what is the value of C2? C2 is 500 picofarad into 10 to the power of minus 12 into 72.6 ohms divided by R3, that is equal to 300 ohms. Okay, so if we substitute this value in this expression, so what will be your answer? Right, 261 got 121 picofarad. Right, someone 121 picofarad, 120 picofarad. Right, most people got 121 picofarad. 121 picofarad, that is 121 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farads, or 121 picofarad. So if we see the value of R1, R1 is equal to R3 C4 divided by R2. What is the value of R3? 300 ohms. What is the value of C4? 0.148 into 10 to the power of minus 6. What is the value of C2? 500 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Okay, what will be the answer? The answer is 88 kilo ohms. Right, most people got the same answer, right? Okay. Next, we need to find out the power. We need to find out the power factor. That is omega R4 C4. Omega R4 C4. That is up to today's class. So thank you.